Welcome to the Good Morning Education Show, and we are live from the city of Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa, and to the entire world. And we're excited to have you here, and we believe that today is going to be another great day, another great time together. And we have our analysts, we have our experts in the building, and I'm sure they're just going to say good morning any second from now. So let me give them the floor as they say good morning to the rest of the world. Over to you guys.
Good morning, Internet. Good morning, Lady Bosch. Good morning, Safety Check. Good morning, Rodel Debo. And good morning, Mr. Rotimi.
Good morning, everybody. Roke Posh, good morning. Safety Check, good morning. Rhoda, good morning. Jude, good morning. Rhoda, I love your hairstyle.
Flashback Friday.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
That's not fair. You didn't tell us.
Look at the plan. Look at the plan.
The theme.
Oh, so this is how it works, right? This is how it works. Okay.
The football. Jude, where is the screen? Cannot see you.
We
can see you.
You can. I have an avatar.
Don't go there, Jude. Don't even go there. We are laying embargo on avatars. Okay. So as usual, we would like to. Does anybody have any headline that they would like to talk about before we take the news and probably from there? Any headline, Rhoda, Ronke, any headline?
Okay, so maybe my own headline. An advert. Go and please subscribe to the Bridge WhatsApp quizzes. We've got tons of quizzes that you can use for assessing your children. My children are loving it. Like they're going around and taking turns and getting better on their goals. So this time they'll say, I'm going to get 3 out of 5. I'm going to get 5 out of 5. And next time I'm going to get assessment. Sorry, that's my headline.
Okay. I know that Ronkepo, she has a program this Saturday. Ronkepo, would you like to talk about that?
No, thanks.
You said?
No, thanks. Not now. I'll talk about it later.
All right. So, Safety Check, any headline? What headline would you like to talk about?
So, Mr. Barrister Taiwo Akinlami is having this program for women working with children. I think it's a really great idea for as many female educators to get involved because they work with children. And the lineup looks really great. So I think it's one to plan for. Yes.
Okay. And Jude, any major headline? It doesn't have to be an event, but something that's happening.
Nothing really. I think we are left to cater for ourselves at this point in time. We are actually our own federal government at this point in time. So,
all right. So, on that note, let's just quickly head on to the news and upcoming events. And we will be back. Today is Flashback Friday.
Okay, Daya.
So welcome back, welcome back. Brother, you were feeling the peace, right?
So when we
Yeah,
told them, they
this one.
in and
Like,
I think what step was
Okay. So we will just get straight to the conversation of the day. Today is just a freestyle approach to looking at a flashback to memory lane. How learning was for you, for everyone out there. What was remarkable about growing up, especially education and schooling growing up. You know, there are many things that are actually iconic to our growing years. I'm sure a lot of people would probably laugh when they get to hear some people's experiences. Definitely, uh, I'm looking forward to hearing from Titi how growing up was, schooling in those days. Flashback. I'm sure Titi was the one that used to sit in front of the class, and then there's so much books and everything, you know. So basically, let's just start from there. And let's start with safety check. So safety check, what was schooling like? Schooling experience for you growing up? What was it like?
primary school or secondary school.
Okay, so you have to speed up because I think I'd like to know about the primary school safety check.
Okay, so primary school for me was interesting. Yes, it was interesting. I lived in a home where we didn't always go downstairs. We were just in our house. We played within the house. We only stepped out of the house when we were either going to school, going on an errand, or going to church. So school was, more fun, more interesting. At least things that were different from home fun. So yeah, I can't really remember anything. Okay, the major thing I knew that I wasn't so great at math in primary school, and it used to scare me. But then I had this amazing teacher in primary five who helped me, and I did so well that I took second position that first term, and I was so certain that second term, first position is coming, because he took his time and he helped me through it. It was my class teacher, Mr. Olishese. I never forgot. So, that's one of the things I really remember mostly about my primary education, other than the fact that it was just children thing, had fun, teachers made it interesting, and yes.
Okay, Jude.
Aha.
I was almost saying something, but I don't want to get into trouble. So let me seal my lips.
Say it, bro.
Okay, so
Okay, my primary school. Uh, for the records, I was the head boy. So if you're not a head boy, head girl,
Primary
I was
school,
the head boy. Yes, in primary school.
let me
Yes.
primary
bust
school, we didn't
Jude's
have head
bubble.
boy back then.
Let me bust Jude's bubble. Jude was the only male in his school. He had no choice than to be head boy.
Nah. It was balanced anyway. Some classes you have more girls, some classes you had more boys. But it was an explorative time in my life where I needed to explore things outside the classroom. And most of the learning I have today is basically what I learned outside the classroom. That's the truth. Most of the things I learned today, aside maths and English and all that, was what I explored outside the classroom, and that is what is even driving me at this point in time. So I grew up more of like a self or independent learner. I had to experiment. I had to get shocked by electricity. Maybe they'll say it's child abuse at this point. So definitely, I didn't tell mom about that. I didn't tell dad about that. But I did most of my experimenting, and it actually helped me in understanding uh, what career suits me. Even at the point in time, okay, maybe I've shared my mini book I did, my handmade book that was in primary 5 or 6. A small book I was writing and all that. So I was experimenting literature, electronics, and several other parts. So it was an interesting time in my life, and also I was the head boy.
We give it to you. There's no way we can verify right now, but we give it to you. We
I
give
can,
it to you.
you can always see my friends online.
Okay. Rhoda, were you class captain when you were in school?
I wasn't.
Yeah,
I'm going to
Okay, two-time class captain. Yes, two-time class captain. And I didn't sit in front.
God forgive you.
I'm going to step back and close to me. What
Okay.
was this?
You said what?
I'm going to throw it right back at you. You go first before me.
Yes.
What do you want to do?
Primary school.
You to go first. You go first.
Okay.
And talk about your own experience before I do.
Okay. Well, that's fine. I'll tell you. Primary school for me was a great experience. At some point, I was a bit invincible while I was in primary school. I was on the big side, and the teachers used to make fun of my bum bum. And I think, and the uniform didn't help as well. We had one funny uniform. I don't know whether they were thinking of turning it into a ballet school, because the short thing had some and
Oh my gosh.
it felt like you're wearing pad or something. You know? But really, one thing that really shaped me in primary school was, funny enough, was the assembly. I always stared at the drum set whenever they played, the band of the primary school. And the only time I had a chance to beat the drum was, I think, in primary 5. Unfortunately, I tore the drums. My one moment of fame turned sour. But it was actually that really led to my creative journey, really. The assembly time was a define. In fact, it was more like a creative time for me. So I explored. We had a very vibrant assembly. I can't really recall all the lectures, but I had a Ghanaian teacher that had a style of, when he wants to beat you, he comes out, takes a chalk, and then it draws the line. So it just says stoop. So you are meant to bend at an angle where your bomb shoots out very well. And that guy had mastery of beating. He doesn't miss the spot. And if you stand up, he's counting again. 6 strokes of the cake. In fact, the guy beat you.
Accuracy.
Were you naughty?
Was I naughty? No, I think I was in between. I had naughty friends. You know, I was that good boy that would always be around bad people.
Good boy around bad people.
So whenever anytime trouble strikes, they say, no, you can't be rude to me. No, that's not that boy. You know that boy.
His friends.
Oh. Wow, that is a story. Okay, so for me, I mean, I let me start by saying I was like, you know, when they say a teacher's delight. I know it sounds weird, like that's what you say, but it's actually true. I was never beaten. I remember all my classes. I remember my nursery 1 class, my nursery 2 class. I remember it vividly. I remember where it was, and I mean, I had a very lovely childhood growing up, in terms of, like, we were just playing. We never studied. But school was just nice. I went to school. I was never a class captain in any time of my life because I rejected all of them. But even and I rejected right from when I was in primary school. But I was more of like, so what I did mostly was as an all-rounder kind of. I was in the match pass always. I was very good at matching. I was in cultural and drama club, even though drama was my worst. I couldn't act to save my soul, but I was in cultural club and dance club. So those two I did quite well. Um, I was that kind of student that was quiet, but I always sat in front because I never really wanted to be behind. I used to cry to be behind. But I was very competitive when it came to schoolwork. So, I was that kid that I didn't want anybody to look at me. Suffice to say, that flew out of the window when I got to secondary school because I was done. Like that burnout. I was done with all that competition and all of that. Like, excuse you, let me just enjoy myself. But just hearing from Jude is just so interesting because that level of curiosity, creativity. Imagine like merging literature with the electronics and all of that. Quite inspiring. But I wasn't. But it's two worlds apart, right? Coming together in one human. But that's the beauty of schooling and what schooling should be. Even though his was out of school, but now we're canvassing for those things to be merged into school as an integration of some sort. But I was your, proverbial good girl, good young child. My primary school was really, really interesting. It was private, and that was one thing I think the best decision my mom took on behalf of all of us, because we lost my dad when I was, and I always kind of want to tear up when I say this, but we lost our dad when I was 16 months old. My youngest sister was 3 months old, so my mom was, just the one taking care of us. And I think that was the best decision to make sure our foundational education was really targeted at, a better experience. And of course, the rest of it was public. But I think just having that special private education when we were growing up, I wouldn't even change it for anything in the world. It was one of the best times of my life.
Oh.
Okay, so let's listen to Rocket first. Rocket first, what was your experience like?
Good morning. Hey, Rhoda. Anytime you tell your story about your mom, I'm always very it fills me.
Inspired.
So,
Yeah.
it really fills me because of the age. My best friend, or one of my very, very close friends, I don't really think I have a best friend these days. I have many close friends. She lost her dad when she was 2 as well. And the mom has one of the biggest bakeries in Lagos to date. She's in Surulere. And
Wow.
all her children, she sent them to America. She has like 21 grandchildren now. And it's just beautiful when you know that women have so much energy, so much strength. And when I see and hear you talk about your mom, it just blesses my heart. So thanks for sharing that again.
Thank you. Thank you.
My childhood, like Rhoda's own, was I was a goody two shoes. I probably still am a goody two shoes, even though people will say otherwise. Like Jude, I used to explore a lot. I used to kill chickens. So
Wow.
when I can remember bringing a chicken to the school at Le Poche, and all the children scattered from the playground because we were trying to just show them what it was like to a real chicken and a real goat, and the playground emptied out. And I used to rear guinea pigs. I lived in the north. I lived in Kaduna, so I used to climb trees. We had monkeys. We used to stone snakes
Yeah.
to death. So we used to climb fences and jump over fences. We used to ride bicycles with the children in the neighborhood, without worry of sexual abuse or anything like that. Having said that, when I was in nursery school, I was kidnapped after school. Was taken away, and I was dumped in the marketplace. And this lady found me. This grandma she's late now, but she found me in the market, and she was asking me questions. I couldn't really answer her because I was that young, but I was wearing a school uniform, and that was how she kept me. She kept me and then took me to a local police station. By this time, my mom was already running all over the place and going crazy. That's what I was told anyway. So I've had this experience of kidnapping. And like safety chick, very uneventful. I used to go to school, come back. In the north, we didn't really go anywhere. I was a Hausa girl. And then I moved to Lagos. And when I moved to Lagos, there was a lot of bullying in my school at the time. I had heard anyway. But when I entered the school, we had a principal that from Jamaica that changed everything. So the bullying instantly went down. But I already had this mindset of there's going to be bullies. So I already had this front that nobody's going to bully me, you know. So automatically people assumed I was a bully. But I was scared, so I wanted to put up a front. So at my 40th birthday last year, when my friends were talking about all these things, and I was reading my slum book. I don't know if you guys kept slum books. I had these huge books where people wrote about you. And they were saying, most of them said what was consistent. They said, oh, Runke, such a bully, such a bully, such a bully, until you get to know her. That was how they concluded, until you get to know her. So when I look at what is happening in my life now, I realize that life actually follows patterns, because a lot of people say, oh, if they send me a DM and I answer them, they'll be like, hey, thank God you answered my DM. I never knew. Oh, what a blessing. And I'm like, hello, it's just me. No big deal. So I guess that sort of thing happened. And my entrepreneurial journey, I actually started stealing. I used to steal when I was young. And I know it sounds funny, strange, but I used to take the sand from the aquarium. But I did not realize I was stealing, to be honest. I used to take it. And it was very beautiful white sand. So one day I took it to school. My friends liked it. I said, okay, I will bring it in a bag for you, and you sell it for 50 kobo. And they used to give me 50 kobo then. So until this sand went down, my mom now said, what happened to this sand? I told her, and so I told her that I used to give my friends in school, and they used to give me 50 kobo. My mom was like, hello, Mosh. She calls me once. She still calls me that thing till today. I don't even know what it is. Hello, Masho, or something like that. Meaning that I can sell anything. So my mom has always said it, that there's nothing I can't sell. She couldn't believe that I sold all that. So she told me that, you know that you finished all this and it's actually stealing because you didn't tell us. I was like, I thought I was doing business. So that was what I was doing. So I guess my entrepreneurial journey started when I was young. So for me, my childhood, like Rhoda, nobody beat me for anything. Nobody was yelling and shouting at me. It was really peaceful for me, and that's why I'm an advocate of this no beating, no shouting, because I just believe that your life can be so much better with a lot less beating and a lot less shouting. So that's me. Well, that's not me, but that's part of me in a nutshell.
Wow.
Wow, thank you very much.
Thank
You
you.
are laughing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I sense that you had your own entrepreneurial journey as well.
I remember having a small garden too, because I was so busy with everything. I wanted to be a farmer. I wanted to be a novelist. I wanted to be an electrical engineer. I wanted to just be everything then.
If not for God's mercy, that you are going to be a prophet.
Yes, at last.
So, Titi, you've not said anything though.
Honestly, I'm amazed that there are so many people that were goody two shoes. I was the exact opposite. I was so naughty. I'm serious. I got flogged so regularly. I was regularly on the names of noisemakers in primary school.
Oh, I like that.
I sat in front not because I was fickle. I sat in front because I couldn't really see the board. At that time, my mom was in denial in me wearing glasses. You know, it's not like now that kids can wear glasses so early. So I was on the noisemakers list. We were always talking. I think the only time that I was really pained was when one of my best friends became like class captain, and then suddenly she started putting my name on the names of noisemakers. I was like, a partner in crime. So primary school I was just naughty, honestly. I think my only thing was that we had very good teachers. We had a lot of Ghanaian teachers way back then. I went to Federal Home Science School in Ikoyi. So my father was a civil servant. The compound was very big. We loved, playing. The school was was fine. We did a lot of field trip and all those things, but I still felt we had other things that made up for all our root counting and writing. My first translation of nursery school is just counting. One times one, one time two, two. So it was nothing, but I think the good thing was that we lived in a very, very massive compound space and lots of trees, mango trees. We used to do a lot of climbing of the trees. We used to go pluck fruits, play the sand. So I think those kind of things really helped, looking back. I then went to a unity school. I went to Federal Government Girls College over here. So it was living in Lagos and going to school in the East was very interesting, but I think it helped break a lot of my mindset. My mom, was Yoruba, who are Yoruba. She had these beliefs that she brought us up, certain cultures were this way and that way, so we grew up with that mindset. Only for me to go to secondary school, meeting all those people and just find out that, a lot of those things my mom said were not true. So I really like that about, growing up secondary school. The unity standards were so awesome. The standards were high. We loved the assembly. We had a press club, reading news and assembly in the morning, inter-house sport. We had drama competitions. We had poetry competitions. So, we grew up loving poetry. It was something that, when they read it out in the competitions, the way people read it with emphasis was just awesome. We had drama. We had cultural dance competitions, because I was in the East, the Igbos always won. My sister that went to FDC or your Yorubas won with their bata dance, but in my school was those Atilobu dancers. They were the ones that were always winning the competition every year. It was so awesome. We had inter-house sport, the march pass. It was just so awesome. We didn't really celebrate birthdays the way children celebrate birthdays now in school with party passes. I don't really recall any of that. But I recall other awesome things, going to schools, having inter-school debates. The education was richer. It wasn't like we didn't might not have done STEM and all that, but there are so many other things that really, really made it so much richer. There was a lot of competition in school. In my school, they used to call out the first three and the last three. So you always wanted to be like the first three. So that was one thing, because that meant the whole school knew all the brilliant girls. Was a girls only school, which was the downside of it, but it was lots of fun. It opened up my first adventure, going to school. My best friends are still a lot of people from school. My best friends are mostly Igbos, which is interesting because of that. So it was a lot of fun. The experiences were so rich. We had seasoned teachers. The teachers were, mature, the educationists. I don't know how to say it. So even though it wasn't, the way it is now, very practical, but it was awesome. Our literature books, sometimes I tell my husband, did you read this book? Even though we hated the books back then, I hated literature because the book Macbeth, Cry My Beloved Country, you understand? Some of them, all this, he died, said that, and he said that. I hated all that, the Shakespeare and all that. But we had other awesome literature books that I really like. Chinua Achebe, Arrow of God. I like the insults in Chinua Achebe's Arrow of God. We used to use it to teach each other. My primary and secondary school were very rich experiences in their own way. I love my teachers. I wanted to become a teacher. Honestly, it's interesting because I fell in love, not love but I was so in love with my teacher way back in primary school. I just thought he was just so brilliant, and that's what I wanted to do. I felt the impact he had in my life was so awesome. So that's what I wanted to do till I grew up and realized that teachers were not well paid. So I quickly ditched that. I decided to go and chase. Jobs. Oh my goodness.
I really like to hear Eben. I'd like to hear Eben's thoughts. I'm sure a lot of people are already calling in and they want to share their thoughts. Well, let's get to hear Eben. Eben has a lot to say. Trust me.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Rotimi. Good morning,
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Rhoda. Good morning, Jude. Good morning, Safety Chicks. My experience is quite opposite and big time opposite. The only one I can start with is from my secondary school, and environmental factor actually affected the whole of my life. Actually make me, it's actually turned everything upside down. If not for some little one that actually influencing my, I would have been upside down. But in my secondary school, I remember then, because my name is Odetola Ebenezer, so they don't call me Ebenezer or Detola, they call me Ode, that is hunter. And that thing was actually manifesting in my life. It
Wow.
was manifesting in my life, because apart from using that word Ode hunter, if you pronounce it very well, it actually sounds like somebody that does not have sense, which is Ode in Yoruba. And I customized my clothes with red. I customized my school uniform. Below my school uniform, it is written there or there. At the back of my collar, it is also written there or there. And then my school badge, that time that they normally do sewing of school badge, my own was highly customized with red, with different kind of tattoo on school uniform. You cannot imagine that. And then the funniest part of it is that I was coming from a good home, because I belong to a deeper life family, and such thing are not actually allowed, but they don't know that I was actually doing that, because I lost my mom when I was 9 years, and it was my dad that was actually in charge of everything. I am from a family of 7. I am the last born, and last born thing, they just need to just like, okay, you just go and be exploring. But they don't know that so many things were happening. I will follow them. I schooled around them. Alagbado, that was from my secondary school when we left Shomolu. When they are going to go and fight, I will be there. I will follow them. There was even a time, I can't forget that one. They wanted to go and fight some group of touts. They were now using this thing, we call it bere. They will use blade to mark the whole of their hand, this and that. I was with them looking at them, but I did not practice that. But I made sure I followed them to that location. There was a time I wanted to lose my life. That was GSS 1, where if not for the guy having bow leg, the guy pursued me with ass, ake. They call it ake in Yoruba, ass. The guy pursued my life. I was offering my clothes as the guy was pursuing me. So it was not really fun at all. Those things actually affected me. And when some of my schoolmates actually see me for now, they look at me and they were just like, hey, Ode, this is you. They don't even know they should even call me Ode or not, because they saw a lot of changes. The moment I left that environment, I nearly even joined court, because there was a time that I followed some group of guys, and I didn't know. They said, let's go to Abulegba. When we go to Abulegba, we saw some big person. They said one of them was champion. Oh, champion, this and that. They removed the clothes I saw gone. I said, I'm finished today. Okay. By the time I got back to school, I was just like, I do as if nothing even happened. On Friday, I don't attend school. On Fridays, I'll first go to a place called Super. That is what's it called? Katangwa. We spend the rest of our money at Katangwa with one guy, champion. We follow the guy as if we are learning how to be a tout, apprenticeship. So when we get back to school again, everything was just upside down. But something changed my life. The moment I left that environment, I was skillful. I was even the one representing the school in terms of art. The art teacher did not even know that I have those customized things on me. The day the principal saw, oh, that was even WAEC, where somebody I can't fight. I don't know how to fight. I was just a follow person. Maybe there was nothing like fight spirit in me, but I can follow them to go and fight. But last day I broke the record. One guy slapped me. Boo! They know the guy will beat hell out of me. But when the guy slapped me, boo! I just want to go and take stick. I don't know the kind of spirit that came onto me. I just broke the guy's head, a lot of blood, and I pursued the guy with blood. But I regretted that action. I needed to call the guy when I graduate. I was just like, I'm sorry for that day. That was not me. This and that. But when I left that Alagbado environment, everything changed. I came to Unilag. I was actually learning art and craft. I saw my mate in Unilag. And then I was teaching at Unilag Staff School. I saw my mates driving car. I saw my mates dressing well. Everything changed. So this is life. Life was not like this. And then environmental factor changed my life. I was curious. Nobody to send me to school. They raised me. I wrote JAM thinking because I was working in Unilag Staff School. I did not know that my foundation has already been destroyed, because what is academics? You only go and just just do anything. There was even a day I can still remember one day that I collected a report card out of 50 something. I saw myself on 40 something. I shared the report card back. I said, what? I got to. They don't even ask of some of those things at home. But till now, I will never forget those things. But environmental factor, when I got to Unilag, everything changed my life. I was curious to the fullest. I have trekked so many places in this Lagos just to submit proposals. There's no, some people look at me and they're just like, Iben is enjoying. Which kind of enjoyment? They need to come and know when I was trekking Lagos to submit proposals. They need to come and know when I was trekking Lagos to just know for them to just know that I can do this. Give me job. I just want to decorate your school. Give me job. I just want to be your art teacher. This and that. So at the end of the day, I sent myself to College of Education. All the experience of my secondary school actually helped me at College of Education. When they were talking about courtesan, I was just looking at them. I mean, I was caught during secondary school. You are still carrying the courtship thing on your head. Better go and sleep. In my secondary, I sent myself to College of Education, to university, and just by doing this business, and it has been awesome. It has been awesome. But that foundation, everything was upside down. Now my name is not Ode again, and my name is now Iben.
Awesome.
Even.
A new curriculum.
A new curriculum.
You know what you just said.
Like they say, you should change your name if it's not working for you. You should change your name.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
I think people can actually see. Okay, we say something.
Oh no, I'm just saying that from Iben's story, there's so much to learn. Like he talked
Absolutely.
about, I mean, Rosemi, go ahead, please. I don't want to take over this time.
And so I just saw the place, how profound, when we say school actually transcends beyond maths, English. It actually shapes lives, a lot of people that I had as friends in school, they vow that they will not do anything in life that has anything related to mathematics. And just to think of that a lot of destinies just got, I don't want to use misdirected, but got shaped just due to what happened in school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a revealer, that. And I'm seeing a lot of comments, and we are going to take a call very shortly. But let me ask you guys something. I've been eager to hear your stories about it, and I also want to know about Roke's side of this. Report card was like judgment day for some of us. You don't know that you are going to school with consequences until end of term. Right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you a funny experience. There was a particular time. My brothers were in secondary school. I was in primary school. And unfortunately or fortunately for me, my cousin also was in the same school, but it was a class lower than mine. So they always compared. My cousin was living next door, was next building, and whenever the report card come, because his dad most times picks us up. So my report card goes first to their house. So there's a little bit of NPR on my report card. So everybody knows the fate. So from 6, 7 o'clock, I just go to sleep because I know that night something, power will change. And so, unfortunately for me, my brothers didn't have very good score that particular term. So when my mom came, she said, okay, where is your report card? So my immediate elder brother brought his report card. It was bad, but it wasn't so bad. So the eldest now came. And I said, what's your report card? And then he showed it was 39th in the class out of 40. So I was sleeping while this was happening. When my mom said, what do you mean? you are 39th position. He said, but I'm not the last. But there's this one after him. The next thing I heard was one nice Abara from, there's this Yoruba Abara. There's no English name for it. It's not Spank. Spank is underrated. There was one nice Abara that woke me up. Where's your own report card? And I told her, I said, my son name starts with E. So they calculated the aggregate with our son name. I got it.
Explain yourself.
I got it of my life. That position thing didn't do well for me. My cousin was always between first, second, third. And for some reason, I think all through my primary school, I only got close to third once. Anytime I get third, they will use either letters of our names, and I'm serious, they use letters of our names. So you might have maybe someone that is Adeoshun. So if Adeoshun is third, Akinyemi is third, and Ita is third. So I automatically become fifth. Do you get that kind of thing? So I was always struggling to enter top 10. So the day I was ninth, I was so excited. I forgot that ninth is even bad in our house. So I got there, I was like, I made it. Everyone was happy. And they opened the thing. I was grounded for 1 month. What was the report card experience like?
Okay, so for me, my report cards were always great. I was always one of the top students in class. Even when I went to secondary school, I realized I didn't talk about my secondary school when I talked about my experience. My secondary school was more interesting than primary school because I was in a school as a pioneer student. We're the first set in FCOS when FCOS had a secondary school in Akwa Ibom. So I was assistant head girl from JSS1 to SS2 when I had to hand over. So I always had this leadership, responsibility. And, a lot of people tell me I do things older than my age. I guess it all came from leading people from a very young age. Imagine doing that for 5 years, formative years, making sure everything works and all that. So even then, regardless of my responsibility as assistant head girl, I still did very well. I was either first or second in secondary school. And then primary school, I can't remember now, but I was always in either, I think, first five, top 5. So I didn't really have that, where people will say they will change the score on their report card because they were afraid of consequences at home. I was one of the examples in the house, why can't you be like Ugochi? And I used to worry about that so that my siblings would hate me. But but all in all, it was a beautiful experience, various activities, most of the travel. One of the things that helped me to be accepting of people from any part of the country was because I traveled across the country for competitions representing my school. Imagine going from Lagos to Akwa Ibom. So I had friends from different states, and I carried that with me into other aspects of my life. So I'm not the girl that would say, oh, I want to be friends with only Igbo people. I don't believe that rubbish. I'm friends with a human being, any human being whatsoever, as long as you do great.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. So
Diversity.
I think I just had that. Yeah, so I had that. My report cards were always great, no issues. The only place I struggled was maths. And, but because I knew that I needed maths to pass, because in Air Force schools, when you are in SS2, you have to write an exam called Joint Promotion Exams. Otherwise, it wouldn't seem you are ready to write WAEC in SS3. And math was my challenge, So I had to read math like English. First of all, I did my research. What are the questions that always come out in WAEC? So there's longitude and latitude, quadratic equations, simultaneous. You can see I'm listing it for you. I did my research. So I now checked how many questions normally come out because I wasn't planning to have 100. I just wanted to pass. So I had to pick the ones that were easier for my kind of person, and I read them like English. So I learned how to do simultaneous equation. I would read the example, understand it, then practice. So by the time the results came out, I was one of the few people that got passed in both maths and English. And that was such a relief to me, you know. So it meant I was ready for one year. Yeah. So aside the worry with maths, my academics was really smooth. I was always top. Yeah.
Okay, so Ronke Punch,
Okay.
what was your report card experience like?
Pretty boring, to be honest. I didn't really struggle with anything in terms of academia. So, and I used to be prefect, and I was a goody two shoes. It was very nothing, nothing to report. To be honest, it was. I didn't know otherwise. It was just what I assumed it was supposed to be. So my parents were always happy. They didn't have any challenges. My what was it? The common entrance, that one that we do in primary school.
Yeah.
It was over 600 points. I think I had about 578 or something. When I finished from QC, I finished with straight A's. I think I got 1B in Yoruba or something like that. Um, it wasn't when I did my A level that I flunked. That's when I went to England. That's when I opened eye. I started to know boys, go clubbing. So, you know, all the controlled environments kind of thing was not there again. So I was like, so
That's when you became
this
posh.
kind of freedom, we're always going to club. We used to do Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so that was when, no, that's not when I became posh. Posh was about 15 to 20 years ago. That was when I started a business, and yeah, that's how one started from. So yeah, my reports were all pretty good, and when I didn't do too well in my A levels, there was alarm everywhere because I had never not done well. And when I say I didn't even do well, it's not if I didn't, I got F's or anything. I had B's, and I was to go to medical school, and I had been predicted all A's from my reports and from everything that had been happening during the A levels. So I didn't match up to expectations. So there was a lot of concern from my lecturers, from everybody, because they were like, "What's going on here? What happened to this girl?" I knew exactly what was going on. I was having the time of my life. I got into all sorts of things, and that's why I always believe you should train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. When parents say, "Don't do this, don't do that," to your children, the day they find that freedom, because I found freedom and I tested everything. I used to have drinks, yes. Till now, I still have wine every now and again. I make no apologies for that. I tried smoking, it didn't work. I hated it so much. I just had a good time, just to have a good time. But eventually, the way I was raised, I came back. This period of my life lasted for about 2 years. It lasted for about 2 years, and I just thought, really, seriously, it's not for me. It's not who I am. I'm not wired that way. But at least I went out and I explored. And that's why when our children are under our roofs, we should really try to allow them some freedom. Talk to them, let them know. My daughter comes up to me with some things sometimes, and she'll be like, "Oh, mom, this boy is so cute." I'm like, "Hello, cute." But in my head, okay, oh, all right. Okay. I'm like, "Oh, yeah, he's cute. Let's talk about him," kind of thing. Because let me tell you, if you're not talking to those children, they're talking to somebody else. So
Right.
that freedom, that she has that freedom. So I'm like, okay, it's all right to crush on a boy, but it's only so far you can go. You know, we have those type of deep conversations that I can't even have with my mom now. Even now that I'm in my 40s, I still can open my mouth and say, "Hey, mommy, you know that I still can't even do it right now." So, so I always encourage people to just talk to their kids, even if it's heavy for you. You will get used to it eventually, and they'll be able to open up to you about everything. I mean, I'm creating a video about Niger parents on my YouTube channel, and I was just laughing. You know how they tell you things, how they tell you things by not telling you things. I don't know if you had parents like that. They tell you things by not telling you things. You know,
Blueprint strategy
you
of
just have a bra. They just give you a bra. What do you do with the bra? You know, they
Go
don't
and,
tell you
go
that,
and
okay, now
figure,
that you
go
have
and
boobies,
figure,
just
figure
go and
it
figure
out.
it out. You know, go and use your technical skills, your creativity, and figure it out. Or
Then
they just give
somebody
you
will help
sanitary
out with
towel,
that
and
one.
then they give you sanitary towel, and you'll be thinking, what are you supposed to do with this one again? You know, they just pack it. You're going to body hand, they'll pack it and put in your box, but they will not say anything. Like, you know. So when I was creating that video, I was just laughing at the things that our parents did. And I thank God for what I do today in the world of education and parenting, because these gaps really need to be filled.
Fantastic.
Mm.
I don't know. Jude, you're a good boy in school. Let me go to Titi. So Titi, what
No,
was open day?
I had the bad side. I had the bad side,
Okay.
and it's
So what I want to ask you, Jude and Titi, what was open day like for you? Did you rent parents
Okay.
at any point in time?
okay.
I think I have a lot
My
of comments for
parents
that.
were
I have a lot of
my
comments for
parents
that when you
were
are done.
my parents were very busy, so sort of I was not too under pressure on that. I know they would never come to open day, and so I was the happiest student on earth at that point in time.
It's because
But
they don't
for
beat
my
you.
no
It's
no
because
no
they
no
don't beat
why
you.
as a first child, why not? I was
No,
the exam.
I mean because the school will not beat you. In our own time,
Okay.
they will beat hell out of you because you did not your parent did not
My
attend
parents,
what's it
yes.
called?
Your school is different.
Why?
You don't have to suck your when you open your uniform, you suck your hand till it's red. Then you now go to you know, say, excuse me, ma, I feel sick. I tell you this, it's only this before they do roll call. Yeah, you are safe.
So
Yeah.
in primary school, I was good anyway in academic, but in secondary school, it kind of dwindled because I couldn't understand my teachers a lot. I couldn't understand them, and sometimes you get to they give you this good teacher and you are doing well in this subject, and they transfer that teacher, and oh my God, you just fall down face and fall down flat, and you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I was very good to the point that I started feeling disgusted by it. So I had to say, okay, let me even follow these tough guys around school. Let me follow them so that people will kind of see me and say, okay, you're among the tough guys, so you are also tough. So it was part of the friendship
Yeah.
experiment. So at that point, I joined these guys, and we're at the point we're even experimenting with conch to SO4. Let me not give you the noise. Conch we got it from a yeah, we're just burning things on the chair and everything. We're just burning things. So
Dude,
Yes.
you're a weirdo. You're a weirdo. Okay, Titi, quickly, we have a short time. I want us to read comments, but quickly.
Funny
so
enough,
let
I have no real stories from the report card. I was actually a very good student. I had fantastic grades, primary and secondary school. I think the person that suffered was my immediate senior sister. Her grades weren't as good, and they were always doing that comparison. Oh, your junior sister's result is so better. To the extent that you actually pushed her to change, to change her report card one day, but as a child, the report card just had tipex all throughout, and so of course she was caught. And you don't have the brilliance to change it the right way. So I didn't have that issue, but looking back, I felt the pressure of comparing children wasn't good. I think I was lucky. I had fantastic teachers, so English, math, all those things. I just had great teachers most of the time throughout, so it really helped that I didn't struggle in any subject. So report card wise, I was good. That was good.
Yeah. Can I say something, Mr. Rotimi?
Let's take comments. Okay.
Can I?
Very quickly.
Okay, so for report card, I think I started as the lowest, and the amount of 15 in our class. My last improved position was 33, and I was so happy to be 33 among 50. I will not lie to you, that was GSS2. Then after that, there's nothing like position again for SS class. You only be seeing those red thing on your, and at least the last red I saw was about out of red on all the subjects, I only have just one subject without red. That is fine art. I was so happy. And then for for and there's just something I just want to say before I conclude that one of the things that actually make this like that is because I lost my mom. I'm very sure that if my mom was alive, there would have been a lot of monitoring of what I do. And then some of my sisters were also trying to also survive during that time. The only help I got from one of my sisters was to be sending drawing book every month from Akoka here. And then those drawing book were something that I was just like, oh, let me draw. As I was doing those things, I was improving my skill. So for the podcast, it was a zero. It was a zero. But thank God that later on, those things improve in terms of readiness and the observation of the environment. And another thing I also see that actually wrecked some of those my childhood was bad teachers. Sometimes teaching methodology was bad. The teacher would just stand at the front of the classroom, talk without putting some of those things into practical. Imagine when I was in GSS class through SS class, when they talk about 2/5, I don't understand what they mean. Why? Because they were not actually talking to me direct. They were only using just one method of teaching. There should be an example whereby they can put the way we do it now, whereby students will stand at the front of the classroom, they remove one and do a lot with it. So bad methodology and those things actually make me not to have interest in so many subjects.
Fantastic. It's really a great Flashback Friday. I think this Flashback Friday has to come again, definitely, because I have some tricky questions. I hope we can take that before we go. But Titi, please, could you do the honors to read comments?
Okay. One fancy teacher says, I'm having a good laugh this morning listening to all your experiences. We were having good luck. Ayadi says, I attended Command Children's School. There was a day I left home and didn't go to school because I was tired of the flogging I received for not paying my fees. I was just wandering the streets. Wow.
That is real.
Yeah.
That is real, big time.
For not paying your yes, you get
Don't play game that time. Yes,
yeah, they were stricter there back then about not paying fees. Joel says, my childhood experience, I used to be very calm and easily intimidated by people's reactions, especially when it involves wailing and shouting. Being the last born, my siblings were very tricky. I come from a large family, so I understand the tricks your older ones get up to. But Joel says, I love gifts a lot because it was scarce in my family, being a polygamous one. I escaped being poisoned one day. Wow.
Wow.
Thank God.
Joel has lots of awesome stories. He says, I remember putting on myself one day doing a math class. You can imagine the type of fear I had back. I mean, that was common, honestly. That element of fear your teachers could actually put in you. You see, I was so tensed and afraid because I didn't get the answer correctly and I knew what it meant. I mean, Joel's incidents were more common back then. Diamu says, my childhood was about reading and eating. I read every enlightening book. Yeah, I read every book. I love walking down the road to get lolly, pat pop, buying pop. Honestly, because of TV time.
I love Enid Blyton and Archie comics. Gosh, I read on.
Betty and Veronica, Jughead.
Yes, Veronica.
Joel continues. I said, I made a stop of mockery. I was made a stop of mockery throughout the day. One of my classmates who knew where my mom was selling rushed the market to call her, and I was cleaned up. Wow, those are experiences that can scar you and just make you not do well in school because you feel every day people are just making. But he says he was able to change the narrative when he entered primary 3. All of this experience happened in Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, where he was born. So it just shows that it's an African thing. I got the first position for the first time with a scholarship from the Ministry of Education. That was a remarkable change in my academic career. Yeah, Diamusa says school was great until I was promoted on trial in Form 3. Yeah. My parents told the school I was to repeat. In those days, parents didn't even waste time in telling your teacher you had to
get that word was promoted on trial.
On trial.
It made their first
Yes, I remember that statement on trial.
they don't want to promote you. And she said, I was asked to repeat, but I had the boldness to tell the principal that my parents had. Yes, I remember the story. She had the boldness to go back to school and tell her principal that the parents had changed their mind. They don't want her to repeat, but they should go ahead and promote her on trial. Because it was a main thing of shame. There was a lot of stigma if you had to repeat. People that had to repeat rarely recovered, honestly. That's what I believe. They rarely recovered from the stigma. Something.
A lot of what we're reading in the comment section, I think is very critical to note that these experiences were and are significant in our life journey, even as we look at ourselves and do this flashback today, especially because it has either characterized or redirected or shaped the way we build our philosophy around education. In my own experience, I was an A student in the primary school, like I said earlier, no report card issues. But guess what? My parenting style was perfect. My younger sister was the opposite in primary school. But my mom would never, ever call anybody out for anything. Everybody got their Christmas gift at the same way, the same time. There was no desegregation, there was no discrimination. And here I am today speaking a lot about non-segregation or non-segregative educational experiences. When I got to secondary school, I burnt out. I literally burnt out of being the ethical, out of being everything. I didn't fail, but I wasn't acing as the way I was. I was the best. I had the highest score in my common entrance, went to FGDCs, of course, them, and all of that. All of these experiences, everything, all the stories we're reading here are today characterizing the things that we do, the philosophies that we've had. Look at Ibe's story, look at Jude's story, look at your story, Ron Kaposhi's story. Everything really, I guess what I'm trying to say, is this a flashback Friday or is it a flashback for today? So a lot of things have characterized what we do or what we did or what our experiences are today. And a lot about immersion. I think we should talk about immersion in the place of, to succeed in the education journey. So I just wanted to leave that note out.
That's awesome. Sorry, Rotimi, I'm moving. I like excellence teachers' comment. Maybe you should move back a bit. She said I was bullied as a child by a younger child. Bullying then was really quite common. Who tormented me for years until I got the courage to beat her up, and everything changed. My parents and teachers didn't. I wish I told them. We didn't talk about bullying back then, but a lot of people were bullied.
I was bullied. I was bullied at the time.
We were all bullied.
Yes, I think this is why schools must speak up about this, and parents must also train their children that when you experience something like this, speak up. And schools should have systems where they say speak up and then do something when somebody actually speaks up, because those are the things that send a message that such behavior is not encouraged or approved in a particular environment.
Yeah, I mean, schools have done a whole lot now. Almost every school that my kids have been to, they've talked extensively about bullying. They have been, so a lot has changed. Back then, let's read Joel's comment. I think this is interesting. Start from the beginning. Wrote to me. He said Joel had someone that was bullying him. He said, but one day, and I think you skipped the comment, the first one. But then we start. I think there was before this one. Okay, so like Ibrahim, as I said, I was intimidated by my mate. One classmate, Kasarate, I don't know, I hope I got his name correct, Kasarate, by name, used to collect the little cash I bring to school, and I would stay hungry till the end of school day. Man. I'm telling you, continue. But one day he dared me, every day for the team, one day for the owner.
One day for the owner.
He dared me, and I promised myself this time I was going to react, and I dared him. So we scheduled a fight, which was
that fight, yeah.
My heart was beating, battle, beating very fast. Okay, the next comment, I like, that was so regular back then. Eventually, the time came. I just targeted his leg. I brought him down. Oh my goodness. When you say that, thank God for others that that intervened, and
That
who knows?
after school fight on Fridays was real. After school fight on Fridays.
I did not even mention inter school fight. Inter school fight. Oh,
Inter-school.
go and fight another school.
Actually,
That
teacher says that I never wanted to be a teacher because my me had not finished. I never wanted to be a teacher because my mom was a teacher. In primary school, I attended, and I was always referred to the Unwa teacher. Somehow, I didn't like that tag. I think it was the same. All people that were teachers' children, we didn't like them. We always felt the. That also said, what wrote to me said about people's negative experience of mass. A lot of people I know didn't like mass. I guess a lot of people didn't have the mass. But Diabusi is saying that that experience is being replayed right now with coding. A lot of young children believe it's difficult, and she plans to teach her grandchildren the fun of math and the fun of coding. Yeah, that's true. Your math teacher would really make a difference. Ishok says my report card was a permanent stretch factor. My report card was a permanent stretch factor for everyone. Never consistent, but never so bad. Everyone knew I had the potential to do more, but just could not understand why I wasn't. I was more interested in selling everything like school bag. Doing spellings or reciting multiplication tables. If that means I am correct businesswoman now. Rocket Boss said, Joel, did you say poo? Oh my goodness. Rocket says, I peed once on myself in primary school, primary one. However, we had great nannies and they put me in a house where everyone knew what I did. Honestly. Days when you had those accidents, you couldn't sneak by, nobody could run up for you. Doublepromotion.com, it really posed a challenge to many children. And yes, I agree with Ronke, it backfired for a lot. That the child just showed a bit of potential. The next child was given double promotion from primary 3 to primary 5. And then for a lot of people after that, they struggled. Yeah, so double promotion was so much back then. Everything was double promotion. Now, why isn't my child giving double promotion? But I think it backfired for a number of people looking back at it now. Okay, any more comments before? Yeah, I like Ethiopia too. She said she had a very interesting childhood. Some of the fun memories for her are climbing trees, mango trees in the rain. The playing in the rain didn't have part 2. Escaping from classes, selling my snacks for 1 naira, stealing fresh 5 naira means for my mom's salary, keeping malice, instructing everyone else to do the same, throwing knockout explosives. And always getting into trouble for her big mouth. Yeah, you seem like you had lots of fun. But I mean, we had some really, really crazy adventures way back then.
Yeah, we did. Even without tech tools and all that, we still had fun. We had fun. More interactions, things that
When
would
we use
make
our
you
leg and
want
sound to build houses.
I'm not going to use generally. I'm going to be very objective about that. There's a lot that we're riding on now today because of very ugly past educational experiences. And that's what we're seeing that's making out in the public space today. The fact that many things everyone has said. I mean, for me, I take these things so seriously. Maybe because I've always been that ethical. I take them so seriously, and that's why I canvass and advocate, for all of that inclusion and stuff, because everything everybody's talking about, from poor teaching to poor teaching methodologies, to bullying, to parenting techniques, to just being closet and you are not able to express yourself, to Eben's story when he was now immersed in another environment and that narrated a change in his life. All of these flashback stories, so important. Not a lot of people have very nice stories to share, but the important thing is that there was growth. And then I think it's kind of characterized what it is. And then something changed in people's lives because one or two things came, and created that mix. A lot of people don't have that story, and a lot of people wish it was different. But we're here to have fun and celebrate everything that that has become us for today. So
Yes.
it's great stories, great stories.
Fantastic. I'm afraid that's all we can take for today. We have to sign off now. And one of the things I would like to say is that let's always try to, just like Rhoda said, get to pick the message in our memories. And this actually is something we also should share. It shouldn't end with us. It shouldn't start and stop with us. The memory should be something that we all can actually cherish, but then also take to other people. I'm sure a lot of people will be wondering, what has that got to do with today's thing? It has a lot to do, because for us, that was growing up, that was experience, that was life, and that was technology as well, So, but it's been great listening to TT, Rokeposh, Jude, Safety Chick, Rhoda, and people out there, Joel, I didn't know there was a fight in Joel. They had a fight. That was almost like a WrestleMania 5 kind of experience. I don't know. So we see ourselves putting on suits, putting on tie, but there's a lot that has happened. Trust me, some bombs have taken and chested kings. Some people have jumped fence, some people have lied about Children's Day, so many things, right? But it's just for us to understand the message and the meaning behind our memories must never be overlooked, must never be relegated to the background. And so to everyone out there, the excellent teacher actually called when Iban was talking. She wanted to talk in, so she called the line, and she would have had a conversation live with us. So we want to thank everyone for all of you that you spent your time, your morning, your data, your subscription, your resting time with us. It's something we cherish and it's something we are proud of. And we want to say thank you. We want to say bye-bye. We want to wish you a great weekend. And Rhoda is sharing our love, a sign of love. I'm ringing the bell of blessing. And Jude
Happy weekend to everyone.
And Safety Chick is saying, stay safe, be safe, do safe. What Titi do? Titi is writing a transaction down. Titi is money. Anyway, it's been a great time. And I believe that we're going to come next week with something better, bigger. And please share the word, like our page, subscribe to our channels. There's something happening everywhere. Rokeposh is having something fantastic tomorrow online, and Eben is having his virtual clinic every Sunday, and Jude is having his platform. Rhoda is having a platform. Safety Chick she's there, she's everywhere. Check her on the platform, she's there. And she's even there guiding us through the night. Sometimes she will tell you, go to sleep. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Have a great weekend, guys.